when you turn 22, that's actually turning 1. Because up until then, we're just in this society's, education system. You're educated now? All right, go out there. But you better be educated.
I used to visualize in a way that, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen and that's going to happen. Whereas like, you should only just picture the end goal. And it doesn't really matter how you're going to get there. Because you can't control that. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, but always have that end goal.
Yeah, complete detachment from the outcome, but complete awareness of the outcome.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting kind of duality.
There's a lot of gurus and they all have fantastic points, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's like, you need to decipher it for yourself.
Yeah,
Because,
what works for you?
Yeah.
There's no one size fits all, yeah.
And it's not that it doesn't work, it might just not work for you.
Yeah. All right, so the crazy story, while we're here right now, is Jasper. I know Jasper from Evan, who is my first friend ever in Thailand 10 years ago, along with Ocean, first friend in Thailand from 10 years ago. And Jasper lives in Tbilisi with Evan right now, and he was coming through Bangkok for a couple of days. And he's like, yeah, let's meet up. And you were here like a few months ago. That's when we met. And then you met OD, who's Ocean's cousin. And then, all right, cool, let's hang out. And then I watched your story yesterday, and you were doing your own podcast?
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, I was like, let's just do a podcast together. Let's just bring a bunch of mics. If we're going to hang out, let's just record it. And then you were talking about like some crazy motivational shit. Like, so how old are you?
24 right now.
You're 24.
Almost 25. Yeah.
Almost 25. And OD, how old are you?
22.
22? Oh, shit. Okay. And Ocean, you're...
65.
Ocean, you're old now, bro.
29.
Ocean, you're 29. That's crazy. It's crazy that we met when you were 19 and I was 25. And now I'm almost 35.
10 years.
That's crazy. It's coming up on 10 years exactly. And you were saying some shit on your story. Like, so all I know so far is when we met a few months ago here, you are doing online coaching for fitness, and you were kind of just getting started. And then on your story, you were saying some crazy motivational shit, like, you just got to fucking do it, like fucking bros, that type of shit. You got to jump in and just fucking do it. It's going to be ups and downs. And so it sounds like to me, you're getting some traction and things are happening and you're 24 and you're on your digital nomad, make money remotely, make money online journey, personal brand journey, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so, yeah, what's the update? How's it going? And yeah, I'm curious to hear.
Where should we start? It's like, I guess 2 years ago, probably like 3 years ago, was the first time I discovered like personal development. Like 3 years ago, I was literally still like playing video games all day. Yeah. Actually, before that, I was actually producing for a long time, which is interesting. Literally doing that like nonstop, but then burned out and just started smoking weed all day. Also smoking weed while producing, of course. And then, did a ton of video games at all times. Was basically a degenerate. Didn't really have like a lot of things going in my life.
Yeah. Was this during university or?
Kind of, yeah. I was preparing for university. Basically, because of this behavior previously, I dropped out of like the highest level of high school. So had to basically pass the exams again to be able to actually enter university.
Okay.
So started doing, actually I read this book of a guy who later became my first mentor. A high performance coach, super similar story, went from zero to hero essentially. Like, I guess like most coaches present themselves. And yeah, that book changed my life because I was like, holy shit, I can actually, put in place things in real life. And from putting things into real life, you can create actual results. Like in video games, you can level up your character.
Yes.
Right, like you can get to the next level. You can unlock pretty much whatever you want. And once I understood that, it was pretty much go time. Started like reading, a ton of books and whatever, and did that for about a year. Kept leveling up. I was pretty like heavy at that time, so I wanted to drop the weight and just like kind of actualize myself that entire year. Once I discovered that, I was like, this is amazing. Like why didn't I know about this before? Like why did it take me 21, 22 years? To discover personal development and that you can actually, like take control over your life in that way. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I need to teach other people this stuff. Obviously, I only had like 1 year behind me, so barely knew anything in reality. And looking back, it's kind of funny because, I barely knew anything at that point. But reached out to this guy who was the first person who got me into personal development, and started, because he did certifications for becoming like an actual coach. So okay, let's work with this guy. Got certified, of course. Then became like a personal mentee of his for a few months and did that. And then thought, okay, I was in university by that point. Dropped out and thought, okay, I'm going to go to Tbilisi, Georgia. Because a girl I was seeing at that point went to Tbilisi, Georgia. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to like get out of parents' house.
So you didn't know it was like a digital nomad spot?
I had,
like
dude, I just saw it was cheap. I had like my student loan. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to like make this work.
Nice. And so you dropped out of uni then?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
I was like, this is stupid. I'm just going to make it work online.
Yeah, exactly. Ocean, you didn't even go to uni.
Nah, literally. I was meant to go in that September. I told everyone, I'm just going to go to Thailand for like 2 weeks. I'll be back in time. But I knew I was never going to come back. Because it was just a course that, it was something that I didn't want to study. I didn't get into the course that I wanted to study. And it's probably a good thing that it didn't happen, otherwise the story could have been a whole lot different. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get into the course, so I was just like, we'll need to figure out something else then.
Yeah. What was it that you were trying to get into?
I was trying to study medicine. I really wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, shit.
But the course in the UK is like really, really difficult to get into. Not everyone, but like a lot of people want to do it for the amount of places there is. And so I applied the first year, didn't get in, had to wait a year to apply again, didn't get in. They gave me sports science and I was just like, if I spend $9,000 a year on sports science and I don't really want to do it, it's kind of a waste of money.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm going to go Thailand. Try my luck there.
I was actually studying sports science
Oh,
when
yeah?
I dropped out. Yeah.
Oh man, how was it?
I already knew most from like personal training and stuff, but
Yeah,
that's cool. It's such a like big difference between like what you do now and medicine, I guess.
huge difference. Life could have been completely different if I did get in. So.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. Did you know that like you wanted to do like were you always into music?
No. Well, yes and no. When I was young, I'd say like 14, 15, 16, I was heavy into music. I was like teaching myself guitar and shit, playing in bands. But then my dad was just like, yeah, this music shit's not going anywhere. You need to like focus on your studies. And then at the time I was just like, all right, fair.
Yeah.
And then I just became somewhat of a nerd. Because medicine, you kind of have to be a bit nerdy. You have to get good grades in it.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then it's not until like 4 years later, after a whole like trying out loads of different stuff, I came back to music. And then it's kind of like, oh man, I probably should have did this all along.
Yep.
But when I was younger, I didn't have that mindset of like, actually, no, I'm not going to listen to anyone. I'm just going to do it. I kind of just, I don't know, medicine seemed like such a good opportunity at the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we all do what everyone does, which is deals with society, what we're supposed to do in society. You know, we go through and we get the degree and then we get the job and do that. But, you know, now it's, you know, there's all these alternate paths, especially with the internet and with YouTube. I mean, basically, my whole life came from YouTube, from discovering shit on YouTube, you know, and now we're in the thick of that age, and now this whole other generation is like, wait, what the fuck? There's infinite other options that people are doing on YouTube and the social media that we see every fucking day. So it's a different paradigm. Why did you choose to, or how did you start your online fitness coaching, and how is that going now, and what's the update with that?
From the jump, it's been like performance coaching. So it's been like the fitness has been a piece. But I also, when you look at, you know, how deeply I was impacted by like personal development and kind of, you know, all of everything around like mindset and stuff as a whole, I didn't want to just be a performance coach or like a fitness coach. And looking back, that was a very bad business decision because I didn't have, you know, any like skill set in that specific area. I didn't really have like, you know, like a huge track record at that point, and I already had like lots of results obviously in the gym and experience as a trainer. So I mean, would have probably been a good idea to like scale it up like from there.
So performance coach, what is that?
It's integrating everything around just essentially maximizing a person's output. So making sure that a person is as effective as possible to create their reality. That's kind of how I see it now. This is also why I got this thing yesterday.
Yeah, I was thinking it looks fresh.
Yeah.
Nice. What is it?
It's I mean, it has a lot of meanings, but obviously vision to reality, like manifesting, creating your reality. Then the hexagram is like, it is like alchemy, like signal that has like a lot of different meanings. Should probably show the camera as well.
Yeah, do that.
Essentially, the hexagram, it has like 12 different meanings, but for me, it's like duality. It's the separation of like the physical and the spiritual.
Whoa.
And so for me, it's like, okay, the vision is like the spiritual, and then, the physical is the actual reality. Then you have the all-seeing eye, of course, and you have the Naruto Mangekyo Sharingan, like in the middle.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so this is, I don't know, it has way too much symbolism probably, but I just thought this looks dope, and this is pretty much what, my business stands for, what my life stands for. And so
Did you like draw that or like?
I designed it,
conceptual
myself, and then
design
the artist like made some small changes and pushed it. Yeah.
Made it come to life.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so performance coaching, and so is that like mostly like entrepreneurs and like business people?
Yeah, for
like,
sure. I mean, obviously, yeah. Like the average, this is something that off the jump, like my mentor then said as well, it's like, only an entrepreneur really understands the ROI on their time. Like they only see, okay, my increase in output is actually going to, result into, something where, okay, I'll be worth more, so it makes sense. Whereas with even executives is probably still kind of a gray area, but I know, for example, with my parents, like they're executives, they would never in their life invest in anything that is like anything over like a couple $100, because they're like, okay, this is what we earn, we need to maximize our earnings and minimize our spendings, because that's our cap largely.
Yeah, they're not in a position to 10x their net worth like
sure.
like an owner. Yeah, totally makes sense. And then so what was the journey like? Because OD, you were telling me like one thing, because you're 22, you're figuring out what you want to do, and then you were saying earlier like something to do with fitness, something to do with content, YouTube, being out there, because it's like I'm like, yeah, because that's all there is right now, in this social media economy. And I was like, oh, Jasper's kind of doing a similar thing. And so what was the journey like when you started trying to get clients? How did you get clients? Because obviously social media is a part of it. It's a part of fucking everything that we do nowadays. And then now you're just saying a second ago that you're doing side freelance work in digital marketing. And so what's that journey been like?
No, for sure. So I think I wasted a lot of time early on doing outreach. I think, like looking back, probably, when, for example, with the CRO offer, which is like the other offer that I'm running, when you go to a business owner and you say, hey, do you want to triple your revenue? And I've gotten these case studies of doing it before, right? It's kind of like, okay, like high chance of success, like let's take that bet. When you come to someone and you're like, I want to change your mindset and help you like do this and that, it's kind of like, right, it's already, first of all, the entire act of outreach is interesting because it's already in scarcity, right? Like you're pushing someone rather than pulling someone into your world.
Yeah, doing cold outreach for a mindset offer. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So looking back, I mean, that was obvious, I guess, but there were a lot of people in my space who were doing that and whatever. But yeah, like nowadays I don't do any outreach. It's also kind of the mindset of, okay, like let everything come to you. If someone is ready to work with you, they're ready to work with you. I worked with a mentor beginning this year. Like he started from zero, literally a year ago, June last year. 1 year later, he's pushing, I think, 100K a month right now with his coaching business. And grew from, like never having posted on social media outside of, like some surfing pictures and what the average person does on social media, to growing very fast.
In the manifestation space as well.
Yeah, so he does pretty much the same. It's just like, mindset, health, fitness, integrating those three things. So just like, the performance coaching as well. And so he does zero outreach. Yeah, everything is just content. Everything is selling in the content. If someone shoots him a message, they'll basically, just nurture in the DMs, but it's not really nurturing. It's more like, hey, like hop on my program, because everything is just a very short sales cycle through the stories primarily.
Yeah, because I already know you. Like,
yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Ready to do this? Ready to rock and roll? All right, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Sign up for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that's been at least a lot more impactful. And then YouTube has been interesting as well, where I've grown from, I've only started doing this 2 months ago. like properly, like 1.5. And in those just like 30 days of straight uploading, I went from 100 to 800 subscribers. So like
30 days of daily
very,
uploads?
30 days, yeah. Like
nice,
very
good
fast.
shit.
Yeah, so
Golf clap on that one. That's not easy to do.
No, definitely.
that's definitely going to be the focus again once.
And are you doing like vlog kind of content?
Literally just mindset brands, just
Okay.
turn on a mic.
Yeah.
And that was especially like some that I would presume this works with like any creative thing, but like going to the sauna, like just becoming like drained in the sauna, and then coming back, then turning on the camera, like that was like some spiritual thing that
Being totally energized, yeah.
yeah, just get so centered. I was reading like the Dhammapada, like in the like the Buddhist text inside of the sauna, and then you have this like double, just get like totally centered, and then
Do you often read like Buddhist philosophy stuff?
I mean just the Dhammapada. I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita right now, which is like that's the Hindu text.
Oh, okay, interesting. I've been listening and watching to this Buddhist monks podcast like the last few months, and I've been like super into Buddhism this past like few months. I don't know, at random.
Fascinating.
It just happened to be in Thailand, and Buddhist temples fucking everywhere. But yeah, it's a very interesting. It's like this is a whole nother fucking, but it ties into personal development and like all that stuff. But what questions do you have for him? Social media, fitness. Where's your mindset at right now?
Questions. I mean, me and Jess have been going back and forth on social media because we met through Danny. I think me, you, Ocean, and Danny were sitting in a room in Moon, and we had the conversation about mindset and development because I feel like I'm still very young, like jumping out of education, going straight into the workforce, and then obviously being here with Ocean, I'm still quite new to everything. It was kind of like getting not too much, but it's just like there's so many possibilities. Like, it's just like my mind's been racing. So like speaking to you guys, it kind of, not even kind of, but it just helped like slow me down and just, But as I was saying, I've been speaking to Jasper ever since Danny, got us in contact, and obviously, questions. I feel like I've asked him everything that I've wanted to.
you guys have been talking. Yeah, it's like crazy. Like I say, when you turn 22, that's actually you turning 1. Meaning when you finish university, that's actually you're 1 year old in the real world. Because up until then, we're just in this society's education system, and then you're educated now. All right, go out there, go out there and be productive in the world. But you better be educated. Like, are you educated? Okay, you got your education certification. Okay, you're a smart person. All right, go be productive in society. And so it's your first year, 22, 23. That's an interesting couple of years. It's like it's like being born into totally new chapter.
100%. Ocean. Me and Ocean were in London, in a studio. We were making some music and shooting some content. And we had a similar conversation because Ocean, he really drives into this mindset of like trying to drive me into like chasing my dreams and that kind of stuff. And we were just talking about just the differences between, for example, like we're all men here. He told me that as soon as we turn 18, as you said, 22, those ages there, it's like a whole new world. Like we are literally, as you said, being born again because, like, to society, we're men, like men. It doesn't matter if you're young anymore. You're just a man now. Like you're not a boy. So it's like, as you said, straight into the workforce. Just go. But I feel like I don't know. Like these last 6 months has just been the best for me. Like coming to Thailand. This obviously my first time, as you know, the first time I've been in Asia. First time in Thailand, and it's just like. It's been amazing. Obviously, I wouldn't have met... I've heard great things about you, Riley, but I've never really met you until, now. And then obviously Jasper, Danny, and, the list goes on. There's connections that I've made over the last 6 months is, it's going to be a lifetime thing. So regardless of where I am in the world, I'm cherishing those friendships for sure.
Yep, just starting. Gotta 100%. Do it. I feel like this is the new plan. Like, when you're done with school... Take a quote-unquote gap year or whatever. Travel, go do something crazy or whatever. because like in Europe and UK and stuff, they have the gap year like after high school, and like you go travel and like get that experience. Like Americans, like I didn't even know that was a thing. We don't even know that's a thing, and so yeah, you're doing the perfect thing, in my mind. You're similar to what Ocean did. You know, young, go out there, travel, see what's out there, meet some people. All right, come back. All right, what do I want to do? Try this, and then it's gonna be try that, and then bounce around, and that's the entrepreneurial journey. And it's always try this, try that. That's the entrepreneurial slash fucking new career path in this age of the internet. It's always something new and trying this, trying that, and yeah, it's all a journey.
I'd say there's like nothing, for me personally, like there's nothing more valuable than like the relationships I've built in the past like 2 years, like meeting, you know, like Evan, for example, like when you meet people that are like working on their dream and they're like actually living life, right, and they're like actually like, yeah, doing things that are purpose driven and are taking chances, like the brotherhood you form from that is like, I don't, yeah, it's not, it doesn't even compare to like any relationship I'd had with anyone previously.
I did want to ask Jasper, obviously I haven't really asked this online, but you said that you're 24. Over the last 4 years, like what's the biggest improvement like you've seen in yourself, like in all aspects? Like it could be mindset, physical, obviously, you know, physically you're
Curious for you guys as well. But, I would say the most recent shift happened, I think, in the last like 6 months, which has also been the most profound, which is to, so in my kind of like performance coaching journey, first I did like the fitness coaching, then I did like mindset, then I integrated like health into the mix of, okay, you know, how can you eat better to have more performance and whatever. But it's only when I made the shift of, okay, let's align what we're doing with like universal law, I want to put it, that like things started to actually work. Where, so you're making big question marks. So let me define this. I think the biggest thing is just when you align yourself with the wants of the universe and what the universe is actually optimizing for, what nature is optimizing for, then you shorten your success curve, because you are no longer playing by your own rules, by playing by your ego's rules, by playing, you know, what you want to get out of life. When you focus on, okay, what can I provide to other people? What are the needs that are present? Then, and you just constantly think, okay, how can I serve other people as much as I can today? How can I think as little as I can about my own, you know, needs to eat, like crap and whatever.
for sure.
That is, I think, the biggest hack for me.
Ooh, that's really good. I was reminding myself of this just a couple weeks ago. Like someone said it on YouTube, like regarding making YouTube videos. They were like, instead of thinking about trying to making the YouTube video good, make it useful.
Yeah.
Make it useful. Make someone think, oh, this is useful. And so that quote rang with me like just last week or the week before, and it aligns with that whole strategy of 100%. That makes sense.
Totally.
So where did that actually like get you the results? So like that clicked with you 6 months ago, and then you got more CRO clients, or like how did that?
Yeah, everything. So it's just like, I mean, the moment I started doing that, it's like, okay, first of all, it changed the way that I saw like my performance. So I would, for example, like start sleeping less, because I would be like, okay, for example, like I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. It's just like something that I do like no matter what, because it's not really, you know, for my performance or whatever. It's because I want to show my people on my social media that I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm like operating at that moment in time. And that's been the biggest thing with content as well. It's like, you know what Hormozy always says, it's like, don't talk about whatever you are doing, or talk about what you're doing. Don't talk about, you know, hypotheticals and like about other people's situations. Just execute, and then you can share what you've done. And that's like one of those things. And just, like looking, okay, I guess the result in that is, okay, we're optimizing, because I'm no longer looking at, okay, how can I, you know, get my own sleep the best? It's okay, how can I be as consistent as possible for the people that are following me? And same with the CRO, like I don't do any outreach. Everything grows off of referral, where I just realize, okay, like if I'm just that good at what I do, right, then you don't really need to do anything else, because you're serving the people in front of you rather than chasing the money. So I think same thing.
Okay, I just realized another thing. Okay, so you must be friends with Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, we were hanging out with him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I was picking his brain deep because he is what I call a super optimized person. He's like a 5 a.m. person. So I was talking to him and he's like, yeah. I was like, what's your routine? He's like, yeah, I wake up at 6 a.m. I was like, oh, okay. Does he wake up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.?
I have no clue.
And then he was telling me, because he's growing his agency to what 200K plus a month and revenue, and like he's fucking crushing it with his agency. And I'm just like, you know, I've known this since I met him, you know, probably last year, but it was just me and Ocean hanging out with him a couple weeks ago, and I was just like thinking about it deeper. And yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, he's one of those routines, like perfect routine type of guy. That's my name. He's a perfect routine. He's up at 6 a.m. and then work out, and then he's like in terms of diet, it's like basically perfect, like nothing artificial, and all that. But so there's that aspect to it, but then there's also all the different types of marketing strategy stuff to it, you know, side of it. But then there's also the kind of mindset side of it, of, you know, the serve side of it. But anyways, or did you get any of this stuff from Ben, or kind of just you guys were just kind of on the same tip when you met?
He has definitely greatly impacted my life, because also there's a lot of moments where I can't really think of a certain example right now, but there was quite a lot of moments where he was like, yeah, just do this, and then I wouldn't do it, and then later I'd be like, fuck, I should have just listened to what Ben.
In terms of routine stuff or strategy, marketing
Like
strategy
definitely
stuff?
like business and
Business stuff.
businesses, like, I mean, I'm pretty optimized in terms of everything, but
Yeah.
the business stuff, he obviously is like a level 100.
Yeah, he's been doing online stuff since 13,
Yeah.
something like that. He's been doing so he's
As veteran, 24.
And so he's your age.
His birthday's tomorrow. He's gonna turn 25.
Okay, boom! Happy birthday, Ben!
Yeah,
Boom.
happy birthday.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ever since hanging out with him a couple months ago, I started copying a whole another part of his funnel, his $5 checklist funnel, and there's so much shit. There's so much shit to do in the marketing space. But okay, so I'm curious about your routine then. So you're up at 4 a.m. and then are you hopping in the sauna in the morning?
Not right now.
What are you doing in the morning? What's your routine like?
So generally, I recommend like 4 main things, like when people wake up, that are like pretty much have a high ROI across the board. It's red light therapy or sun exposure. So making sure that you reset your circadian rhythm by getting in some type of, high like amounts of light. And the red light therapy has been very beneficial since I wake up at 4. It just wakes you right up. You don't have this like, foggy kind of look for an hour, like at the start of your day. It's just boom, and you're up. Combining that with breath work. So I do like 3 rounds of 30 breaths, just fast inhale, exhale, like Wim Hof method, followed by a long hold. Those 2 things probably more effective than just chugging coffee or whatever. And no drinking coffee until after 90 minutes. That's a big thing. And then meditation, 15 minutes. That's obviously, it's not really necessarily a high ROI thing, but I mean, for me it is.
Is it by yourself, guided? Listen to a guided thing?
Yeah, either guided or like just theta waves, and listening to that. And then movement and like cold showers, although I have to admit that I have not done that recently, which I am definitely going to get back into very shortly.
/ ice bath if you had
for
it.
sure.
Man.
Yeah.
Having the ice bath at Moon Tower, it's the best, bro. Oh man, like my dream setup, obviously sauna and ice bath right there, and then you have your own little mini gym at home. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, fuck. Yeah, that's ultimate. That's ultimate wake up. And then the sun, waking up for sure. I'm seeing a lot of shit about red light. Oh yeah, you posted on your story recently.
I keep seeing that as well. Do you have like a machine, like a red light machine on you?
Yeah.
As you wake up, it's on?
No. So I mean, I'll turn it on when I wake up.
Okay, yeah.
And then, all right, paint the picture here. Like, how big is it? And then what are you doing? Are you just like sitting like this in front of it, like meditating?
I blast it in my
like,
face. I just stare in it.
You stare. You open your eyes wide and stare in it.
Yes.
For how long?
Well, as long as the 3 rounds take of the breathing. So I guess it's like a little over 5 minutes.
Yeah. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's like, kind of, I'm not sure what you call it, but like probably like A4 paper type.
Just like sitting in like in your bathroom or like.
Like wherever I am, but just generally like.
So you can carry it with you.
Yeah, it's like a small portable.
Oh, okay. So you can walk around with it.
I can't walk around, but I'll put it in front of me, sit somewhere. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha. You can put it on a table or whatever the fuck. do the breathing, look at it. That's interesting.
And
I've never
does,
tried that.
Yeah, same. What does the red light actually do?
So there's a few different things. You have the red light therapy, which is actually, I'm not super deep on this, but there are some benefits in terms of the actual skin. The main thing that I use it for is just resetting the circadian rhythm of, you're staring right into light that is in a lot more a better like frequency in terms of the colors versus just blue lights or regular lights in the house. And so those really help you to reset your circadian rhythm. So you actually start to set your cycle so that you're actually at the end of the day creating the melatonin you need and you're able to fall asleep.
It basically simulates sunlight.
Yeah.
And red light is a longer wavelength. It penetrates, and gets into the,
I was still curious about you guys, like what has been the most like, basically what Ordain said. It's like, what is the thing that has helped you develop the most in the past, like, let's say 3 years?
3 years?
Yeah.
I'll say one thing is kind of aligned with what Ben is doing, but basically it's just in terms of digital marketing strategy, is when I found this one guy on YouTube, and it was a video, and it goes, how I grew my digital marketing agency from 0 to 900K a month in 12 months. And it just popped on my feed one day, and I clicked it and I watched it. And it turns out this was his third agency that he had sold. And he built up this last one just like perfectly and sold it for 10 million. And he was mapping out his entire funnel. And it was just the clearest that I've ever seen a funnel mapped out for a digital marketing agency. Every single thing you should do in terms of lead gen. And it was the most kind of overwhelmed I've ever felt, but also at the same time the most excited that I've ever felt, because I go, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Just a clear roadmap, everything you need to do, every part of the funnel. And so I think that is probably the biggest change, revelation of the past few years, is just, I guess it comes down to following someone who has done exactly what you're trying to do and get their exact blueprint and just do the exact same thing. So there's that. And then I think the other thing, which ties into Ben rubbing off more on me since when he was here recently, is just, you gotta just work more, which is, it ties into this, it's called the 1000x funnel that this guy built out on YouTube, because part of his whole ethos and messaging is, okay, here's the funnel, but like you need to work 12-hour days to build this all out. And that's why 99% of people will never get there. It's because you need to combine all of the marketing funnel shit, needs to be fucking on point, at scale, amazing, great. And then also your routine needs to be fucking amazing, great. And so we all kind of know these things, but when you see them, mapped out perfectly, it's like, all right, that light bulb turns on. I would say that for me.
Nice, man. I'd say like over the last 3 years, I've been developing mindset, but not even intentionally. It kind of just, when it's meant for you, and the messaging is just aligning, and then you kind of, it just unfolds and unfolds. Because I feel like before, as I was starting to get really big on YouTube, and with music as well, a lot was happening within my mind. I'm not gonna lie, like it was like I was almost my worst enemy in the same way. A lot of pressure, a lot of me thinking like, I got this, but what's next? Why isn't it not working for me? Why is this guy successful and I'm not? Why isn't the music clicking? All these crazy voices where it's almost like you're fighting yourself, and then slowly you just, I don't know, I start to learn how to think. When I don't even do it anymore, but when I used to catch myself in certain ways of thinking, I could just change it around straight away. I think habits though, like meditation, visualization, really putting my intention into what I'm trying to do, seeing things clearly. It all kind of just works together to the point, I'd say before, it was all just external
Comparison.
comparison,
so
but
much
even just like
comparison, like, yeah.
chasing, I'm just like, I need that, I need to chase that, I need to chase that. Whereas now it's not like that at all. And it's, I don't know, it's peace of mind, but it's also, it's just a confidence that you have in yourself. It's like before, maybe I didn't even trust myself. That's why I was trying to just hold on to everything and have this scarcity mindset in a way, where it's like now I'm the complete opposite. And things, as you say, just kind of fall into place. It just comes to you. You might think one day, I need to do this. You just learn to let go, put your intention out there, but let go at the same time. It's like a weird kind of balance, but you find it with intuition. And then all of a sudden it just come back to you even better than you could have expected it to happen. Stuff like that. So I don't know, I just feel like my mindset right now is just, it's the best it's ever been, honestly.
Yeah. Did you say you read a book about this, or like you discovered this kind of like
Yeah, I
let go
definitely had
philosophy or something?
I had a life-changing book called Reality Transurfing. I don't know if you've read this one, but
Reality what?
Reality Transurfing.
Transurfing?
Yeah. It's about this thick, but it's worth every single page, bro. I had to listen and read it at the same time just to take it in.
For like, I say social proof. Iman Gadzhi has read this like 15 times or something. Like,
yeah.
on repeat.
It's a book that you constantly keep going back to just to solidify. But it was like, when I picked up that book, honestly, I was probably at a very, very low point within myself. I picked it up, first page, it just resonated straight away. Then the next lesson is like the lesson that I needed to know that day. Then the next lesson was like the lesson I needed to learn that day because I was struggling. And it was, I don't know, it's like it was meant for me that day. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Synced up.
Sick.
It's in sync for sure. And then there's another book that's an extension of that one. It's not as in depth, it's more practical, but it's called Tufti. It's by the same guy.
I haven't read that one.
You read it?
No.
Oh, okay. But it's more of the practical, like how to visualize and the way you should set up your surroundings and things like that. But yeah, to answer the question, mindset for sure.
Tell me about the surroundings thing. That's something I think about a lot. How to optimize the surroundings. I'm like, all right, I have this office here at home, but like sometimes I don't feel like productive at home, and then I'm like trying out like looking at co-working spaces and like what does that mean, surroundings?
When I mean surroundings, I meant more like in terms of visualization. So, for example, the way to breathe and control your breath. What you should be thinking about or not thinking about when you're doing it. How to actually visualize. So, for example, in the past, when I used to visualize in a way that, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen and that's going to happen. Whereas like, you should only just picture the end goal. And it doesn't really matter how you're going to get there because you can't control that. You can just control your actions of today, basically.
Yeah.
And keep putting one foot in front of the other, but always have that end goal. And so let's say, for example, I don't know, I want to be a professional poker player. I'm just going to say that.
All right.
So I'll have that end goal in my head, but instead of me thinking like, well, I need to first go to America, let me visualize that, and then let me visualize meeting a famous poker player who's going to mentor me. No, just visualize being a poker player, visualize how that feels, the emotions behind it, all the details that you can really. And then, yeah, it's a long to explain, but that kind of vibe.
This is 101 manifestation, visualization, yeah.
But in doing that, when I mean like the surroundings, it's literally the way you breathe, how to control the energy around you, that kind of stuff, basically.
Perfect.
You're probably teaching, this type of
totally. Because I think what I talk about a lot with clients is like, complete detachment from the outcome, but complete awareness of the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, which is a very interesting kind of duality. Like, right, especially as like high achievers, entrepreneurs, like you're like so constantly ambitious and you want to reach to the next level. And having that clear and just being like, just whatever way. Because also that's something I did wrong in the first 2 years of this. I was constantly thinking, okay, I need to figure this next thing out and trying to force things and doing exactly that. Whereas if you have literally, like you said, you have no clue like what the best path forward is. And when you close yourself to those opportunities, it'll probably take way longer for you to actually reach that path. Whereas if you're just open to it, there's gonna be various opportunities just right in front of your face that you're not seeing.
And going back to what you're just saying as well, it's just like when you was talking about the laws and following how the world wants to be rather than your ego. It's the difference between forcing things and just going with the flow. And when you go with the flow, it's just kind of, it's almost like inevitable, but every time you push in, there's just friction. It's always just, you push, it goes away. Yeah. Whereas like you step back and it's like a flow. But yeah, I definitely recommend everybody read that book, honestly.
I have like a really good recommendation as well, like because that is like a super meaty one. There's this book I've given to, I think like 5 people now. I've read it 3 times this year so far. I found out about it right before I went to Thailand, like in January. Read it like on the plane. It's A Happy Pocket Full of Money. This book is just a little bit more digestible, I think, because the reality transurfing is a phenomenal book, obviously, but it's like kind of meaty and kind of hard to read at times.
So what's that one about?
Pretty much the same stuff. It's just obviously the claim is become rich, but it's actually become rich in the moment, kind of become abundance in yourself, and from there attract whatever you want. It has a lot of interesting things around just quantum physics, thinking about like how does the universe actually work, and how you can see time in a better way. So for example, it talks about the present moment being this like tiny speck, for example, on a football field. But if you just zoom out and you, I can't explain it as well in the book, I guess, but if you just scope out the entire thing, you can actually see all of the possibilities on the field. It's just in this very given moment in time, you're not aware of them. But if you just have the vision in your head, the same with reality transurfing, right? It talks about anything that you can think about, it already exists in reality. It's just a different one.
Yeah.
And so, having that intention and then releasing from it, you can just shift to it in the flow, like you said.
Do you teach like vision boards, like on your screensaver, or?
It's kind of like a level 1 type of thing, I think. I still have it. I think it's just like what stage you're at, right? If you can have this vision so clear in your head, then it's kind of dumb, I think, to have a vision board, because you can just live your vision, right? If I drive a car, I don't think about whatever car I'm driving my favorite car, right? It's like if I'm walking around, like I try to think, okay, what is the favorite place? And obviously try to actually have those experiences and just go to sick places as much as possible. But it's the same with for example, Hormozy says don't have a morning routine, just go straight to work. Well, you can do that, but when I did that 2 years ago, I just started self-sabotaging all over the place, and my entire way of being, I was actually far less productive. So I think it's just more about figuring out the stage that you're at and then developing past that level so you can then optimize further.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think a lot of the journey is really just knowing yourself, figuring out for yourself, because there's a lot of gurus and they all have fantastic points, to be honest with you, but at the same time it's like you need to decipher it for yourself.
What works for you. There's no one size fits all.
And it's not that it doesn't work, it might just not work for you.
Not a good fit for you, not your vibe, not your style, not your way your brain's wired, not the way that your whole personality is wired.
That's something really powerful. Do you guys know Wes Watson?
Yeah.
He's interesting to check out. He's kind of a wild dude, but one thing that I really learned from him has been to just listen to your intuition as much as possible. And rather than trying to listen to whoever, just like you said, like the gurus, don't even, that's something that he says as well, and something that I've started thinking about and telling as well in my videos. It's like, don't even listen to me, use this information and then filter it past your intuition. And that's what reality transurfing talks about as well. It's like the mind has these like very logical ways of thinking and whatever, but if you just listen very carefully, there's this very obvious thing underneath there, like what your heart is actually telling you. And if you become more sensitive to that, you just flow with that, then it becomes much easier.
And you see, when people used to say this stuff when I was younger, I used to take it in and be like, and because I didn't actually understand it. Like when people used to go on podcasts and be like, oh, you just got to believe in yourself. I'd be like, I hear that, but it sounds so surface level to me. But like when you truly understand that, and like follow your gut, your intuition, tap into that, it can be really powerful, I think. For sure.
May I ask, because obviously you guys have hit that, you know what I'm saying? I'm still learning, like, to, as you said, to follow my intuition. Like how? Because, like, for example, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but some of my dreams, or I don't know, some things that I want to achieve, they seem so far away, and it's like damn, there's stuff right now that I could do, you know, wherever it is, like just get a normal job or whatever it may be, but like how do you just like believe in yourself so much that you just know that, yeah, like whatever I'm doing right now is gonna work in the long run, like I'm gonna achieve that dream or I'm gonna achieve that goal?
I guess it just goes back to this like serving thing. It's like, you know, like Elon Musk said, you get paid in proportion to the problems that you solve. If you solve a big enough problem with whatever you're doing, you're gonna make whatever, you're gonna earn whatever you want. You're gonna be able to do whatever you want, I think. And then it's not a matter of, you know, if it's gonna work or not. Yeah, just gotta keep going. And like these books have helped tremendously, I think, you know, with that to build that like belief on a deeper level.
As someone who's around you a lot, I think what I realize is just seeing you. You just got. I think with you, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you're not really sure. And I think it just comes from trying many different things and trying to figure out what you do like, what you don't like, what you kind of gravitate towards, and you eventually will find it if you're open-minded enough, and then just set your intention on it.
Because yeah, like you were saying, there's so many things, so many opportunities and things we can do to make money independently these days. There's, the list goes on, and so it's like we live in an age of so many options. It's paralysis by analysis. Like even me on a daily basis, it's like, oh fuck, it's paralysis by analysis. There's so much fucking strategies and marketing out there, and even mindset stuff out there. And it's like we live in this social media age. And when you're starting, I can only imagine. It's like, fuck, okay, million things to do. All right, let's even say I want to do fitness niche. All right, what platform? All right, what type of content? It's like, so it's like when getting started, I guess, it's normal to be where you're at. Like it's so much shit, and so I guess I would sprinkle on top of there's the whole getting a mentor slash. Consult with someone. Hey, where, because we also need the X's and O's part a little bit too. Like, all right, for me with my expertise, okay, where would you advise someone who is actually further ahead, who has the life that I want? Like, where would you start right now in terms of the strategy stuff? And then try to get some help in terms of where exactly to start, because like. The digital landscape is changing every day. Like maybe it's just do daily videos on TikTok for 30 days, and then you might blow up, and then you might have a personal brand, or YouTube, or so yeah. There's a lot of questions.
One thing that's really helped me with this is like having some higher self exercise. So getting clear on not just okay, this is the vision, but this is why I got the tattoo as well. Okay, like my most actualized version is. Tatted, like arms are fully tatted, and there's a few different things in terms of looks, like obviously a few kilos heavier in terms of just add a little bit more muscle, and it's been really useful to just get an idea of okay, this is the exact way that this best version of myself looks, speaks, thinks, acts. Like what is his mindset? Who is he around? When you have this as like a guideline, then you can, from there, I think, make better decisions, because a lot of it is strategy and how you're going to get there. It's also outside of your control. What you can control is, okay, how can I become the most developed person? How can I become just the person that is capable of achieving whatever they want, because I'm so powerful, because I work 10 times harder than anyone else. I see, the map, which goes back to his like universal principles. Like I see the map and how to get there way better than anyone. If you just become that person, it's like you can't lose.
This is a good one. So identity. And so the Brian Johnson Live Forever guy, this clicked with me in a video recently. He goes, all right, here's my step-by-step guide on how to have perfect oral health. Step 1, identify as an oral health nerd. And that's actually all you need. if you identify as something, then you will do all the rest of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that clicked with me just a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh damn, because we all know this one. If you truly identify yourself, this goes back into the basics of manifestation. Your thoughts become what you say. And if you tell people, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of a laid back, kind of lazy type of guy. If you say that, then that will be your actions, and that will be what happens. But if you tell people, or maybe this was his sleep video. You go, step 1, identify as a professional sleeper. How to get professional sleep. And then if you can actually, put in the practice, the work, the meditation or whatever to make that happen, and slowly, it's not going to happen overnight, but slowly actually identify as that person where like you'll honestly tell your friends and people like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'm all about the sleep. I'm all about the sleep. If you say that from the heart, and then you're probably going to start doing that. Right? And when I look back on my journey, like I became identified as like when me and Parker were fucking 22. I became so sold into like, oh, the like location independent lifestyle, like laptop lifestyle, like of course, like that's me. And I would even tell my parents like, or I would even tell my friends like before we even bought the ticket, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be moving to Thailand. Like you would just speak it like it's already kind of happening. Like, oh yeah, like I'm already kind of in. I'm into this. Like, fake it before you make it. And like looking back, like I never read any like types of books or shit like that, but that was actually what it probably, some of the force that drove me and Parker into like actually doing a crazy thing, moving to Thailand is kind of faking it before we're making it. Like, oh yeah, I'm a digital nomad. Like before I even made any money online, this is actually crazy. Before I made any money online, I did a video on YouTube. If you go back on my channel, it's probably there. Like, talking about why making money online is the best. Is the best.
Epic.
Yeah. And then like what you start talking about, you start becoming, yeah, for sure.
It for you guys to make this leap of faith? Because even for me, right, like 3 years ago, this was already like a completely different ballgame. I think it's gone like parabolic in like the last year. Maybe it's just because I'm in the space now and we probably see it more. But yeah, like how was it to shift your mind to actually think, okay, this is possible. I have this belief, and that process.
I guess it comes down to you see something and it just really resonates with you, and that happened on YouTube. And then the thing is, in the social media YouTube age, you can go down a wormhole so deep, and then you're just like, oh yeah, this really resonates me. Where I'm like, oh, of course, if I wanted to have a career, I can do it from wherever and be free to travel whenever I want. Like instead of being stuck in one location, like a fucking course. And you see a message or something that resonates with you, and then eventually you start telling your friends about it. And if you start telling other people about it, then now you're teaching it, and then now you become it, and then it just happens. Yeah.
I could say it kind of like also like a powerful call from your intuition, though. It's like it resonated so much that you were like, okay, this has to be like.
It's like, oh yeah, that's me. I have, because ever since I was a kid, like I wanted to be an astronaut and an archaeologist. And so I look back at that now and I'm like, okay, I kind of had like an explorer mindset. Like definitely in my life, I definitely see, being in other countries and stuff. And then so when I discovered like digital nomad on YouTube, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And then boom. And then it became reality. Yeah. Now I'm the digital nomad guy.
Like when you first made the shift to this online space, and you were like, okay, I'm going to do this. The landscape just seems like it was barely a thing back then. It seemed like, yeah, like people barely had any idea of it. So like, yeah, how did you push yourself into that direction? What was that like?
To be honest with you, if there's any one of these like principles that came easiest to me, it was always the identity one. I think somehow I just naturally picked up on that quite early on. And so I just knew like, if I see myself this way, then I am. And I think, yeah, I kind of just had that kind of mindset. But I think with you as well, like, it's a bit of like what's meant for you is what's meant for you, in terms of I went down these rabbit holes too, and then something just resonated with me, and it just made sense, man. It just made sense. It just clicked. There wasn't any, oh, I need to think about this and dwell on it. It's just, no, this makes sense. Let's jump in right now, or let's just go. Let's see what
Sounds
happens.
super similar to what Evan told me about this as well. Yeah, it's like just go for it and like all in kind of.
Yeah, we all. I mean, we actually all found out about Thailand through different things. I think Evan found out about it through like Muay Thai, or was that you?
That was through me, but like, okay, shall I tell you like the real, because it's actually a pathway and it all starts online.
Yeah.
I've never said this on camera. Basically, I was 18 and I broke up with a girl. But that one, I don't know, I had like, young heartbreak.
Yeah.
That one just ruined me for some reason. I didn't know how to deal with it. So I went online, like, how to get your ex back. And then I went through this guy's webinar. I didn't even know it was a webinar, but it was a webinar. And he's like, do you feel like this? Do you? I'm like, just in it. Then I pick up his ebook and he starts talking about like digital nomad stuff and things like that. And then I'm like, sounds interesting. And then I kind of found Johnny FD through that stuff, and Johnny started speaking about Muay Thai in Thailand. I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do Muay Thai in Thailand. So I start following his blog, and then one day he's like, I'm making money in Thailand doing drop shipping. I'm like, oh shit, you can make money online?
Yeah.
Then I went down the drop shipping rabbit hole, and that's what actually brought me to Thailand. Not even Muay Thai, the drop shipping brought me.
Yeah. To come to the retreat. That's where we met. That's where we met 10 years ago. Okay, I thought you were gonna say you saw Johnny's video, Johnny's ad, because I know he used to be in the kind of that space.
Yeah.
Okay, so you found him first through that space.
Yeah.
I met a couple of guys who first, and then through
like,
following him, transitioned to the Thailand.
It was a weird one because I found him through Muay Thai, but then I also discovered him through. It was like two worlds that he was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then with Evan, I don't know. He's not here. We can't speak for him. All right, I'm gonna pretend to be Evan. We've done fucking 10 podcasts, but anyways, yeah, it's interesting how kind of we all got here through different journeys. But what were we just talking about? Oh yeah, the identity thing. That's one way to kind of summarize the main themes here.
Totally. Yeah. Just like whenever people say like I want to, or they're pushing it away energetically, right? It's like I want to be more confident. Then you might like push yourself a little bit further, but right, you're still creating this gap between where you actually want to be. You say I am this.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's.
Yeah. That's all. That's classic manifestation, confidence building, but it takes time. Depends. Everyone's different.
I guess it's just like but it is a thing of the more you do it, the faster you can get to shift. I like to think that like personal development, the goal is kind of to become like fluid in your identity. It's like, okay, let's just become able to take on whatever shape we need to take on to achieve what we want to achieve. So if you can train yourself to release of all of even the identity in and of itself, kind of you can just employ whatever identity is like most beneficial at that given moment. And
to get you to your end goal.
Yeah.
So the thing about end goal, and I think about this a lot, is like this goes deep. It's like, what is the end goal of life? Is there one? Is it to be, and like in the make money online space, like the joke is like everyone just wants to make the most money with the least amount of work possible. It's like that's what everyone wants, right? Everyone wants to be rich and have the least amount of work / stress in our life with the most money, least amount of work / stress. And so it's like, okay, all right. Is that the ultimate goal, or is it like more person I want to be, the people I'm around, the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm experiencing, the things that I'm creating, the legacy that I'm leaving? Like that's what I think about. Is it the business you have and the wealth you have or whatever, or is it like it ties into legacy? I was talking to Ocean about this Saturday. It's like, because at the end of the day, we all know we're gonna die one day, and at the end of your life, we're going to be sitting here and we're going to look back and, one thing they say is, what are the ways that we can live forever? Okay, so there's like legacy, and that can mean different things. It could mean leaving, monetary wealth to your kids and family, or it can mean the things you created, books you read, music you made. So that's how, like, in the being a digital creator, I think that's kind of a cool thing and cool feeling that like when we're dead, like our stuff will be around, our great into infinity will be able to see that, and that has meaning. So it's what you create, and then maybe, you know, your quote unquote book that you write for your life. You know, the ideas that you gave to the world, the change that you made in the world, the amount of people that you helped. And so in terms of end goal, yeah, what would you tell a client? Like, how do I think about an end goal? Like, what is it?
And this is a very personal thing, right? But, I guess another angle from what you said would be to like maximize the eventual present moment, the enjoyability of that present moment. I think that's kind of like a good benchmark of, okay, you know, like what are things that are actually going to drive me to have a more enjoyable life, not just because especially as like young dudes and whatever, when Andrew Tate first came out, I was like, holy shit, this guy's the boss and like whatever. And now I'm kind of like, you know, his lifestyle is probably not that enjoyable with the way, you know, he lives, and actually like, you know, it's not, it's just
if you're stressed on a daily basis, that's really the opposite of positive mood, and that's the opposite of what everyone wants. It's like, and even like, because I was telling you about the situation at my agency, I was like, oh yeah, this past month, it was like actually the most stressful month of my whole life. It was like due to like someone in my company leaving or whatever. It was like, and I was like, And at the same time, I've been like listening to this Buddhist podcast, and what they say is, this ties into the present moment thing, and in Buddhism is all about there's only the present moment. Like, don't stop thinking. There is only the present moment. You need to stop thinking, bro. But and they teach, the monks, the Zen Buddhist monks, they teach, when you have stress, when you have strong emotions, don't try to run from it. Like, feel it. Like, I see you, stress. I am there for you. I'm cherishing it. And like, I was like, oh, okay, feeling it. And I was like, okay, I definitely know I don't like this feeling. Nobody does. And then my thinking brain is always thinking about like, you know, my thinking entrepreneurial logical brain is always thinking about what's the perfect business model that minimizes those situations of stress. Because like in the agency game, it's when you have, in a business where you have a client-based business, in a client-based business, when you're also a manager of a lot of people, you could argue that opens yourself up to more potential stressful situations.
Yeah.
You know, like the more people you manage, the more responsibilities you have, the more clients you have. And so I'm always thinking about, all right, what's the dream business? And I probably told Ocean before, and I've actually said this probably on podcasts before, like, oh, but yeah, my dream job is be like Joe Rogan. He's got no clients, but he makes millions. He just shows up and he does what he likes every day and makes millions. I'm like, so I've said that in podcasts before, so hopefully I'm manifesting it. And then I thought of this next thought just yesterday. All right, so how are the different ways that we monetize in business? So we have clients, we have customers, and then what else? There's fans/followers. And so right now I have clients that make me my money. So that's just like, you like have to do them a service, and there's like a relationship with these people. Mm-hmm. And then in customers, you know, any other product business or a course business, get customer, you don't really know them, there's no relationship. But then there's this whole other type of business model where it's like Ocean. You essentially make your money from YouTube from fans/followers. And really the most money probably from the fans, so like the true fans, but then there's kind of the other people that are like just your followers, maybe casual followers. And so I was like, what's the ideal business, you know, long term? Oh, it's actually the fans and followers. So it's the personal brand economy. And then maybe have some customers too. If you want to create your own products, okay, whatever, easy. But like a Joe Rogan, for example, he's not really creating his own products like too much. He's just making his money from his fans and followers, aka the attention, aka, you know, the personal brand model. And that's what. So anyways, I've told tons of people this, and I was telling you this, and we live in the personal brand economy. It's all about building your personal brand, because that's the best business model long term. theoretically least stressful because of what I just said.
So anti like risk in so many ways.
Anti-risk
Like
because
AI for example, right? Like it's always
because with AI, yeah, exactly, people are going to want to follow people.
Yeah.
But in the digital marketing space and in the transactional space, that's this transactional business over here. But now we live in this new social media age where it's all about the people that you follow. And so building an influence. And so you're doing it, I'm doing it, you're doing it, OD is going to be doing it. I think about this a lot. That's why we see all of these business people are building their personal brands, and that's what you do these days. That's it. You as a business, you as someone that people follow and listen to, it's crazy.
That kind of that's what you're doing almost. It's like, you're like, because I know you, like we have conversations almost on a day-to-day basis, but like watching your story, and I could just imagine like someone that follows you that doesn't know you, or for example like you or Riley, because I know you, I kind of see what happens through like behind the scenes and that kind of stuff, but specifically Jasper, like when you do your long walks and you talk about, I don't know, like just something like really inspirational, just something motivational, that's just your personal brand. And like, yeah, like because I know you, I know I said this a lot, because I know you, it's just like crazy to see. For example, like Ocean, like I've known you my whole life, and like when you talk about things on social media or just in person to me, and just seeing like your journey and that kind of stuff is just like insane. And I know you don't like, Ocean does not like any compliments about his journey or whatever, which is understandable, but like, yeah, it's just insane just to see like, even like your stories from like your coming up, like you being in a rut, you moving all the way halfway across the world, just like seeing how much you guys have progressed. It's just so inspirational. So yeah, man, I just can't wait to embark in that journey as well.
You're doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
You're on it already.
For sure.
This social media age is such a fucking crazy, beautiful time. And something I will be getting better at, and I am getting better at, is storytelling, right? Because at the end of the day, humans, we're based off stories and following stories. And you're doing that. Ocean does that as well. Everyone has a platform right now, a phone that connects to everyone else in the world. And like, it really is so simple at the end of the day. If you get on social media like you're doing on YouTube or whatever the fuck platform, and you get on there and you start talking about your story and your journey, it's going to resonate with some people, and then the algorithm's going to pick it up, and then boom, you got followers, and then followers equals income eventually when you get to a point.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you need to monetize through the clients and the customers. But eventually, like the long term, if you start building your fans and followers, then that's such an awesome thing.
It's also the scalable thing, I think, with a lot of the service-based businesses. It's going to be more and more difficult, right? I see is with like the copywriting business and stuff as well. It's like, okay, you get more and more competition. The personal brand is the separator. It's like, yeah, people fuck with you. You offer the service, so yeah, you're the guy. And then, obviously, like the amount of viewership compounds, whereas the clients, it doesn't really, like not in the same way unless you have like some, I guess, the referral kind of thing.
It's definitely, it's something I think about all the time, like what's the most scalable business model? What's the, but then also, what business model, fits with your personality? Because not everyone out there, not everyone's still listening. By the way, if you're still listening, bro, give this video a like, man. If you're still listening, subscribe on podcast platforms. Because not everyone it's not everyone's personality to be a creator and personal brand, right? Not necessarily, but if you're listening this far, it probably is. And if it's not, consider it, because what a cool way to make money these days.
For sure.
Yeah.
And isn't it like, right, just the limiting belief of it's not for me, isn't it actually not for you? That's like a whole, I think, other other thing. Like posting all of the content. At first, like I was obviously just like anyone else, scared to death. Like who is, what's my grandma gonna think and my friends from high school, whatever. But it doesn't really matter. Now, actually, after having done it, I'm sure it's the same for you guys. It's like, okay, you look back at like, oh, this last trip that I did. Oh, this last this video that once upon a time like blew up, and it's just like all of these things to look back to, which are actually really, really dope.
Yeah, that's true. Like when I started door-to-door sales, like I was considered myself an introvert, and I actually got into it not even knowing I was. My friend told me, he was like, man, I just made $1,000 last week. This was like in high school. I go, what? Sign me up. And I went to do it, and it was doing door-to-door sales, and I was just like pretty shy. I considered myself introvert, and then boom, did that, and that kind of just like opened me up. And so yeah, it was an example of like, oh, that's not for me, but you actually just do it, and it's like, oh, maybe it actually can be, You never know until you try. Yeah, that's crazy. How it all ties into in terms of the end goal thing. In Zen Buddhism, of course, like these monks, they live a basic life. That none of these pleasures. They're not chasing. They're just, they live an internal life. I would say, it's all internal. And so it's finding this balance of, in the performance space, everyone's doing meditation these days, which is so fucking awesome, right? Because like these Buddhist monks, they teach meditation, getting into the present moment, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be happy, right? Everyone wants to be happy, and happiness comes from your mood. So you want to be in a great mood every day, and it's thinking about how do we optimize our health, business, relationships to, I guess, be in the best mood every day, which is meaning being happiest every day. Yeah. But there's also other points to it, because like just because you're happy in a good mood doesn't necessarily mean you're fulfilled in a deeper level. So there's all these different factors to it. But also at the end of the day, what a Buddhist monk would say is, yeah, there is no end goal. It's all just, there's no end goal. It's just experiencing. It's just experiencing the present moment. And they say cherishing every day and everything, every breath, every step when they do walking meditation, every step. Enjoying. We did walking meditation for 2 hours this morning, and we enjoyed every step. We cherish every breath, and like that. That's what these Zen Buddhist monks, and it's
Sounds like top levels of gratitude.
yeah,
For everything.
It's top levels of gratitude. And they talk about like every little pebble, you see is every little pebble is a wonder. You see the butterfly, you see the blue sky. And this is a wonder. And anyways, I'm imitating this one guy's channel. If anyone's listening, you should follow this channel. It's called Plum Village, and it popped up on my YouTube. And it's this Buddhist monk. He's passed away now, but it's
His name.
it's a channel of a bunch of his teachings, and now they continued it on. And they actually made an app as well called Plum Village. Amazing app, tons of guided meditations of like him and new people doing these. Anyways, it's pretty freaking amazing. But it's all in the same realm of what we're talking about. I mean, religions at the end of the day, one big part of it is, personal development or finding meaning.
I kind of stopped reading personal. That's why I'm reading all these religious books, because it's kind of like, it's just like higher level kind of personal development, I think. Totally. In the Bhagavad Gita, this might be interesting. There's like 3 types of yoga, and I forgot the third one, so this is bad. But the other, basically, they're saying there's like different paths to enlightenment, and the 2 that always stand by like with me, because it sounds like some like duality, is like the selfless action. So being in the physical world and taking action out of for other people, and then the other thing is like the stillness, and so I think for me, like the mission is kind of the integration of those two things, and I just thought that was interesting because, for example, with this other podcast, like we think about like the duality between the the founder in like Silicon Valley who is like constantly on Adderall and constantly just like, you know, grinding literally 24/7 versus the Himalayan monk who is just in the mountains meditating all day, not doing anything whatsoever. And I think like if you can kind of integrate those two things, you'll probably be very happy.
Yeah, finding a balance. We're the modern day productive business performance monks. Like, life is all a big balance of everything. I say this to a lot of people. Life's a balance. Like even like talking to clients on a phone call or just a random like sales call. How's it going? Oh yeah, this is this. Yep, life's a balance. I got my kids. Yep. Everyone else, life's just a big fucking balance of everything. Just finding your sweet spot, finding your zone.
That sounds like a quote that I heard on a TV show, regression to the mean, which means not everything in life could be all bad or nothing in life can be all good. Like, for example, I've told Ocean this, that I've been preparing for life going back home because, you know, I've been living by myself for the last 6 months. Going back home, I'm going to be with my parents, my little brother. I just know that, you know, it's chaos. So, not chaos in a bad way, but it's just parents, brothers, you know. And, like, for example, if I think about life in this year, it's going to be like, Thailand has been so good, you know. I have to prepare for what's to come, you know, which is, I'm not going to say it's all bad, but it's going to be a balance, you know. So, as you said, balance, that really resonated with me.
So many things.
So many, man.
I've even thought about making videos about this topic, about balance, all the things. Because, like, for example, Tai Lopez, he says, health, wealth, relationships, and fucking, what other one? Health, wealth, and relationships. Then we got, I think I probably said this on a video or a podcast. We have, I like to say, business, fitness, all right, friendships, family, love life. We're going to keep going. We have spirituality. We have / deeper purpose. We have adventure. Like, everyone needs a sense of adventure, like to travel. And then we have, like, creativity. Like, you need to create stuff. And so those are my 8. The different facets of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's, like, it's more than health, wealth, relationships.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these other needs that we have. I think everyone has the need to create and be creative and explore the creative side.
Just like some more than others.
Some more than others, yeah for sure.
Because he actually has a really good test where he answers you a bunch of questions and then it divides it up into how high you scored based on like the hormones. So for example, when I did the test, I was very high on dopamine. A lot of the decisions I make is because it's based on dopamine, whereas like some are more serotonin. And then it breaks down into it kind of breaks down into what jobs you would be good at. So
What test is this?
it's called Life Compass.
Is this Tai Lopez?
Yeah,
Shit.
it's his thing. And then there's another one that he does called like the 4 M's of what you're motivated by, which is interesting. Money, material, mating, which is like love, and freedom. But I can't remember what the M was for that. And he'll say sometimes people will do, maybe movement.
I think I saw this video, yeah.
And he said like sometimes people will chase the money when all they wanted was to attract the girl. So why didn't they just attract the girl first? But they thought money was gonna do it, or they chase all the money to be free, but they could have just went for freedom. Little things like that. But then some kind of crossover, maybe a bit of freedom and mating, or it's really interesting. I'll definitely recommend taking his test it's all good just to know yourself a little bit better. That's what
Tests
it
are
comes down
good. There needs to be more people need to take tests. You know, more people need to get with a performance coach consultation. More people need a fucking life coach. You know, just to, you know, 99% of people have never had a consultation with a counselor, therapist, coach. We're all just kind of going, and it could have just been like one little quiz or consultation to realize something. Because it's hard to because we have our daily lives are so busy. We have our careers and our fucking family and our, you know, our girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, kids, and like our daily lives. We're just going through our daily lives, and like we don't. For a lot of people, there's no time to think about, all right, what's my fucking ultimate vision? What's my purpose? Am I on the right path? What's my identity? What is my ultimate goal? Most people are just in their day to day, you know.
That is like a huge part of my work. Yeah, it's like self-awareness, like lots of exercises, lots of like figuring this stuff out. It's interesting you said that.
Yeah, but it's funny how it works. It's because in this social media economy, when people are ready for it to come to them, it comes to them via social media. Because the algorithms, it's funny, like the algorithms, fucking, this is probably gonna be a real thing. Like, imagine an AI, I just thought of this right now, where it can sync to your YouTube account, and it knows, you can just talk to it. If you talk to that person can be your counselor. Because what like the algorithm is doing, because, you know, sometimes a video will drop in that's like, it's not really related to your search history, but you'll click it and you'll be like, or it'll be a YouTuber who has almost 0 subscribers and like barely any views, but it's on the top of your feed because the algorithm knows it's going to resonate with you. That's happened with me multiple times.
Yeah, same.
It's crazy. It knows like what you're ready for. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of scary accurate. Dude, I'm not really big of like an Instagram guy, and I was scrolling like a little bit more past few days. Instantly, I started noticing like, holy shit, this is all like exactly what I like. I'm like, gotta get out of this this place. It's not good.
We live in a partially algorithmically driven life, and a lot of that can be good. But then if you get tips down to the bad, it can be bad. I wonder if there's something in that YouTube algorithm that tries to tip people towards good. That might be possible, but with YouTube, on Instagram, I know it's the opposite. If you're following this, bro, here's a tip. If you don't know this, on your Explore feed, you can hold down and you can select not interested. And it will say select more, and you can start tapping a bunch of things and tap a bunch of things that you're not interested for your Explore feed. So for me, it's girls. This is probably last year. All girls, all hot bitches off my Instagram feed. And it's on other stuff like music and like animals and like memes that like June sends me and stuff. And so now it's a completely different interest. It used to be like, I like bitches and shit. And I was probably for 99% of dudes like, it is that. You can do that. But what I've noticed is, even though I'm not, you know, viewing that content on YouTube, it will still pop into my feed, into my Explore feed now and then. I'm like, I didn't even go down it's trying to hook me on that. Because it knows in the past, I went down those wormholes. It's just an algorithm. And it's like, oh, this is what you got sucked into in the past. You want to try it again?
Oh, that's funny.
Anyways, there's a tip for you guys.
For sure. There's a bunch of things that I would do with clients as well, like to kind of navigate this. So do you guys use like any type of like newsfeed eradicator to just remove everything? There's like a lot of things that you can do as well. For example, like newsfeed eradicator is on the App Store. You can remove pretty much all of the main feeds. For YouTube, you can hide like the thumbnails, you can hide like the comment section, because very often where you start scrolling and there's like, why are you in this comment section in the first place? It's generally some type of entertainment purpose. There's no like real push behind that. And interestingly, like a lot of these things cause a lot of overwhelm as well, where it's like the 6 slot mind idea of your brain is only capable of holding like 6 slots of information open, and when you keep these open, then creativity kind of slows or like pushes through. And so if you start blocking that up with Instagram, all of these things, they get tapped in and then, you know, clogged up, and then there comes like 4 additional ideas. You start to feel overwhelmed because there's all of these different things that are going on in your mind. If you can keep all of those spots open, you'll be way more creative.
This past 6 months or so, I've opened Instagram a lot less, which is going good. I like it. For sure, no Instagram notifications. So like I tell all my friends, like, hit me up on WhatsApp, no notifications there. Now even YouTube has shorts at the very top. I'm like, God damn it, YouTube. Now I'm watching a lot of YouTube shorts, because the most crazy thing like of the past couple years with social media is the infinite doom scrolling. And it's a huge worldwide addiction right now. the infinite doom scrolling, and TikTok started it. Like I see it every day with Ju, my girlfriend. A lot of people are infinite doom scrolling. I'm proud to say I'm not an infinite doom scroller, but a lot of people are. And if I do, it'll be catch myself real quick. And so
Yeah, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
I saw a video recently. It said it was talking about dumbing down your iPhone, and there was a study that showed that actually 30 minutes of social media a day, only 30 minutes, actually improved happiness versus people that had zero and just cut it off, which kind of makes sense because you do want to stay in touch with your friends or whatever. So just like a little bit is fine, but people that were like an hour, 2 hours, their happiness just went down. And so I've been on more of that tip, but
Do you think there might be like some bias there with that? Like maybe the people that use it a little bit, they just have like better access, or like I'm not sure what the testing is, but
right, studies are always funny, but yeah, this
because I don't know, like I've gone without for quite a while, like, and that's generally
without
been very,
feeds, without checking feeds,
only YouTube, like, but then still like blocked and everything, like
Without
with
checking-
newsfeed eradicator and everything.
without checking Instagram, you mean, and only consuming YouTube
Yeah, but then still, right, like with the newsfeed eradicator, with being very kind of selective.
with
And you're
the,
saying you felt happier.
Yeah,
Like, away from
definitely.
it.
was
Oh,
it the
yeah.
thumbnail eradicator?
Everything. Just literally, you can only search a video and then, like if you find a specific thing, then you can watch it kind of.
I'm gonna have to try that out because my social media dopamine addiction is scrolling YouTube, right? Because I can say like, oh, everyone's doom scrolling, like everyone's doom scrolling, like, but I'm scrolling YouTube. It's not it's not as much of a doom scroll, but it's still a scroll and searching for that dopamine hit. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like a super common theme among like entrepreneurs as well. Like generally, like YouTube, kind of this long form stuff is to be consumed.
Like podcasts, like
Yeah,
okay,
trying to find
I
that
would
podcast.
definitely justify and say podcaster. It's a different type of social media, I think for sure. But obviously everything in moderation. But what I've never tried is a social media fast.
Like a dopamine detox kind of thing.
I actually did this last week. I was doing a 7-day fast. I didn't make it the full 7 days. I made like 2 days, and then I did like one meal a day. So last week I took a full week off of work. And so I was going to do that and then kill two birds with one stone. Try to do a 7-day fast. It was like 5 years ago I did a 5-day fast when I was in Bali, and I was like, I've always been super proud of that, and it was great. Anyways, my takeaway of it, now that it's 3 days later, is the biggest benefit, I think, was just, if anything else, just the caffeine detox for a week. Because I've noticed like this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm just like in a super good mood, just like super happy, just like moving and grooving, super good mood. And then I realized today, it could be because of the caffeine. Because the caffeine, I've noticed this for years, but I have to take every couple months at least 2 days off of caffeine, and I totally noticed it.
Are you back on again?
I'll notice the caffeine, it starts to have less and less effect. And then I'll notice, like, I'll just have a stretch of days where I'm just not in a good mood. Like, what's going on? And then I'll realize, oh shit, I haven't done a break of caffeine a couple months. And this is only really, I realized this in the past 6 months or so when I've been working like 6 and 7 day weeks. Because normally I'll not work on weekends, like historically. But this past like 6 months or so, like even working on Saturdays and Sundays, and if I'll do like a 7 days a week caffeine for like a month or two, I'll start to feel like what's going on, and then I realize, oh, it's the caffeine. Take 2 days off of caffeine and go back, and it improves your mood. This goes back into another thing. Which is very true. Realizing more this past year is our bodies are bags of chemicals, and chemicals are our mood, and it's very even little chemicals can have big effects on our mood. That caffeine is one example, but you probably talk to your clients a lot about nutrition, and just like even some simple vitamin additions can drastically improve your mood. I'm sure like some people back home, most people are deficient in vitamin C. 40% of people are deficient in protein. In the past 6 months, I started doing 2 protein shakes a day, After I started doing that, holy shit, mood improved. It's like a crazy. And so, tip for you guys: consult with a bio optimizer or just whatever. Figure it out. Even a few, like our boy James, he does this for high performers and like a similar thing to you. Like he's not too big on supplements because really, like if you're eating, grass-fed steak and like healthy, like you should get all your vitamins. But get your blood work done. See if you have any deficiencies, and if you plug that deficiency, it can be a game changer in your daily mood. Because your daily mood, like if you're in a constant state of not in a good mood / down / depressed, it's surprising how a little diet or vitamin change can be like, holy shit, feel great. And a lot of people are living their day to day and not even realizing this. It's crazy.
For sure. Yeah, the impact that like even on things like discipline and stuff like the nutrition has is absolutely crazy. It's interesting. I was like the most mentally stable when I was doing like probably what the average person would consider the least mentally stable thing, which is like eat just raw meat for like weeks on end, like literally just like raw steak, just whatever.
Raw?
Yeah, raw.
Whoa.
Just out of the package.
Straight out of the pack. Oh, wow.
Straight out of the pack. Yeah, felt so stable. It's really interesting because for sure the carbs probably play a big role. Where I was like in ketosis throughout the day. So when you start eating the carbs, like your blood sugar goes like up and down the entire time. That definitely is not beneficial. But yeah, I guess it's because the absorbability is so high. So for example, when you chug like a raw egg, it's pretty much through your system in like 30 minutes. Like it digests so fast. And so, yeah, with all the other foods, it takes a lot more time.
There's this video about protein score that everyone should watch.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen this.
It's by What I've Learned. And he's like, protein is not protein. And anyways, this past 6 months, a year, I get my food from Paleo Robbie. It's like a 5-star meal prep spot. And like, it's crazy. Like, if you just... After eating some of that grass-fed from New Zealand, no preservatives, steak, how amazing you feel after just eating that. Mm-hmm. It's the highest nutritional density thing. Anyways, and I got their grass-fed protein powder as well. Anyways, big tip I've learned over this past year is, double your protein, grass-fed steak, definitely, because dopamine comes directly from protein, as does fucking everything in our bodies. Everything is made of protein, fats and carbs, for the most part. And so, a lot of people are not having enough protein and quality protein.
Yeah, for sure. The general recommendation, I think, is like something like, absurd, like 50, 60 grams or something. It's like you need at least like 1.6 grams per kilo, probably more like, a little higher.
Because dopamine is the main chemical. Dopamine is everything. Dopamine is the chemical that drives animal behavior. Dopamine is the chemical that leads animals to do what they do. When we're high on dopamine, when we have a lot of it, it makes us do things. It makes us go get the food. It makes us go get the mate. And if we're low on dopamine of day to day, dopamine is the molecule of doing, of motivation. And so it's important that that's kept high. It's the main molecule of animals, amongst, of course, serotonin and all other things. But if you had to pick one, it's dopamine. It's crazy. Dopamine. That's why everyone's talking about dopamine detox, and because it's everything. It's why we're doing the doom scrolling. It's why I'm opening YouTube at the same time every night and looking for something to watch to hit that dopamine. It's the chemical that drives animal behavior.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One huge cheat code with this is like if you have like the things that you default to in terms of your dopamine. And so with the social media and stuff, this is right. It's like so much more addictive. But so one thing that I've really found is if you can just remove these things one at a time, like eventually you'll land on something that you're naturally very like motivated in. So I presume if you were, the producing, for example, that's something that like is very high up on this ladder. So you remove this thing and then this thing and this thing, and now you have this thing where it basically doesn't feel like work because you're able to just
it's just like effortless.
Yeah, exactly. It just flows. And I think if you find that way, like thing for you, for me it's like creating content or whatever.
Yeah, but
it
it
is.
Still gets you the dopamine hit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's relatively high, very good,
exactly.
productive. Yeah.
And whatever that is, like you can just be productive on autopilot. There's no struggle like most people experience.
Yep, the perfect example is what this guy's doing right there in the bottom. He's just creating in the flow.
Yeah.
He's creating in the flow. And that's it, you know, do what
When
you
you
love.
look at that, yeah, that is a crazy music video. It's stimulating in like 3 ways. The timeline scrolling, the middle part.
What is this?
The engineer
Is this an
vibing.
OT video? No, this is some random. Oh, the baby freestyle. Oh, this is another OT freestyle.
We should probably like
Anyways,
dip in a
yeah,
bit. 'Cause
time to wrap up. That was a good one, boys.
Yep.
We out. Jasper, where do people follow you?
Jasper.demuyncks, that's DEMUYNCK on Instagram, or on YouTube, same thing.
Prod by Ocean. Everywhere.
Everywhere, especially YouTube. You motherfuckers. OD?
Odane.6. ODANE.6.